Hello, and welcome to your Moonday message this week from Wildly Tarot. I am really excited to share the shift in energy that is coming this week. We have a new month beginning, we have a full moon this week, so there's a definite shift from that really deep, watery energy that we were all experiencing last week. Interestingly enough, the cards offered me two paths that are available to the collective this week. I'm feeling the middle card, I chose three, and the middle card that came through is the Two of Swords. And so for me, the twos always speak to having a choice. We can go right or we can go left. We get to choose our reality. We get to choose how we're going to take in the raw data that is surrounding us in our life, and then what we're going to do with it, how we're going to feel about it, if we're going to be reactionary or if we are going to take it in, allow it to settle, and then integrate it and move through our days and through our life in a more holistic, well-rounded way. The sensation that I'm receiving is that this is a week where we get to choose, is life happening to us, or are we in co-creation with life? And can we pull ourselves away from this duality and expectation that things are either good or bad, they are right or wrong? Can we soften internally a little bit and say, life is life, and it has equal parts of everything, and maybe it just is, maybe it just is. And we might have personal preferences around these things, right? We may individually, personally feel as though this pandemic is a truly terrible, horrible thing. And from a human perspective, it most definitely is, right? None of us wish to have this many deaths. None of us wish to have people suffering. That is all true. And from other perspectives, from other lenses, it is just a natural working of the world to help control populations, to not any different really than a large herd of deer that is brought down to smaller numbers through starvation over the winter if there aren't enough predators in the area to control their numbers. So we get to choose. This Two of Swords says we get to choose. We get to choose how we take all this data that is coming at us, how we take all of this information, and how we want to roll with it, how we want our internal landscape to be around it. And that's okay. It's totally okay. That's why we're here. We get free choice. We have free will. So it's great. We have a choice. And here are the choices that we have this week. The first, if we want to go left, we've got the Ten of Cups. And so this card, I feel, is piggybacking on the Five of Cups of last week. We can take this week and this energy and still continue to wrap ourselves around that process of letting go, of reminiscing, of being in the watery emotional realm. Totally fine, not a problem. We can still sit with all of those feelings and give ourselves what we need to be comforted. This card is a card of emotional comfort, a card of bringing that which gave us distress in the emotional realm, space to come to closure. This card can be very internal, very homebound, very remote, really bringing inward and being with ourselves and our closest and most intimate loved ones, not really exposing ourselves to the outside world, but really allowing it to be just this internal process of coming to terms with what was and what is no longer, as well as really allowing ourselves to see what is now. So again, being in this watery space, continuing to let the process from last week of releasing, of seeing what in our belief systems and in our lives really didn't serve us anymore. We can just stay with that process. It's great. Or we can move into the energy of Wheel of Fortune. This card it's a tricksy card. It doesn't come with a very clear, concise definition, right? Some people read it as fate. Some people read it as just watching life unfold. And what I'm sensing here from this card really is this spacious, delicious step forward into great mystery, right? Just allowing ourselves to come to this place where we are firmly planted in our feet on the earth, knowing what our part and parcel is in this life, that we are co-creating with life, with nature, with our people, with our animal companions, with the land on which we reside. Really beginning to take on this mental shift and accept that we are not better than this planet we live on. We are simply a part of. And we have a very beautiful part. We are the creators and the creatresses. We are the ones that bring about change on a grand scale. We are the ones that can feel the universe's feelings. It's a beautiful thing. And it comes with it this inherent unsafety, right? Like, life doesn't promise us safety. It promises us change. It promises us adventure if we're willing to step outside of our homes. It promises us this flow, this give and take that's always available, just like the Wheel of Fortune, as it continues to turn its circle over and over based on whether we make a choice to go left or right, whether we make a choice to do our dismantling work around racism and sexism or not, whether we make the choice to recognize that we didn't like how the school system was educating our children, and so we want to maybe really invest in this homeschooling idea. Maybe we are coming to terms with the fact that what we've been told and indoctrinated with our entire lives regarding work and success and money, maybe that is really no longer landing in our bones. Maybe it's not really our truth anymore. And this is the Wheel of Fortune. This is the invitation and the call to step out of the boxes that we've been placed in up here and say, I'm open and available to what actually is. I'm open and available to possibilities. I'm open and available to a future that my small little brain could never actually wrap itself around. I am open to the things that my heart knows is true, that my bones know is true. So these are big opportunities for us this week. It feels like this moon is really ushering in this energy of personal liberation. Regardless of where you are on this spectrum, if you're just beginning the journey and you're still not quite ready to let go, that's okay. Or if you're all the way over here and you're like, I've been doing all this work and I am ready to step forward into my new power and my truth. It's all valid and it's all real and it's all happening for us in the collective. And the animal ally that came to support us this week with all of these energies is Dragonfly. And Dragonfly is the master of removing illusion, of pulling back the veils, of allowing us to see through its iridescence that there are so many varied and different ways to look at our lives, to look at reality, to look at our day-to-day existence, as well as to see how much of an effect and an impact we have on our world, right? Another piece of dragonfly medicine is that they spend the first half of their lives in water. They spend the first part of their existence diving deep into that emotional realm, just like the Ten of Cups here, right? And it's a process. It's a process of unfolding, and we can't rush it. We can't move faster than we are ready. We simply have to allow the mind, heart, body, and soul to bloom when it is ready, when it is strong enough to hold the truth that is available. And once we make that swim in the waters, once we really get in touch and in tune with our feelings, with our instincts, with our own inner knowing, that's when we can morph into the dragonfly, take to the air, take to our intuition, really be able to see a wider perspective from up high. Dragonfly is a beautiful ally for us to have in the coming months, to help remind us that yes, we have this small personal story, and yes, it has effects on us, and we are a part of a whole. We are part of something much bigger, much larger, and we all need to start working together if we're going to continue as a species on a planet that is healthy and whole. If we're going to continue living together in ways that support us all, we can no longer be so disjointed. The time to change is upon us, and Dragonfly is a beautiful ally to have in these times. And the stone that came through to support, again, one of my favorites, we've got Pyrite, the Pyrite Pyramid. Whoop. And Pyrite, this is the strength of the stone of strength and tenacity, and really tuning into our own inner light, our own inner wisdom. It's the stone of the sun, and we're getting ready. I can feel the shift in the air here in North America as we're moving, changing seasons slowly. We're in that space. The body knows, the plants know. It's time to absorb in as much of the sun as we can before we hit the winter darkness, taking good care of ourselves, doing what we need to strengthen ourselves, to bolster our spirits and bolster our physicality as we move forward, as we continue to do this releasing work and step further and further into great mystery, into accepting what is. That is the message for you this week. I'm not sure if I said this, beginning August 31st. Again, we have a full moon midweek here. Make sure you step outside and take a good look. And if you are feeling any stress, feeling as though you could use some support, Wildly Tarot is open and available. I would love to share space with you through these times. Feel free to check out my link tree or my website, wildlytarot.com. And otherwise, I hope that this message serves you and that you have everything you need. And we'll see you next Monday.